Hi, I'm Katie. Thank you for joining us for the Foundation for Sarcoidosis Research Patient Registry tutorial. In our introduction, Dr. Culver explained why joining the registry is so important for finding answers for sarcoidosis patients. In the next few film clips, I will be guiding you through the basic elements of entering your information on our patient registry. Remember, all of your information will be anonymous. Researchers and doctors who want to see the data to learn about the disease will not see your name or contact information, ever. There are 11 sections, plus additional information and account pages of the patient registry, so for most of these we will provide a separate film clip to help guide you in completing. The registry is a dynamic tool. You'll have an account that you can constantly access to add new info, check back to see statistics, and more. It's an entire system, not just a single-use sign-up. The key to joining the registry is to get started. If you get stuck on a question as you go, you can move back and come back later. You can always revisit my tutorials whenever you need to get more information as well. Okay, so let's get started. The one thing you will need is a computer and internet connection. Of course, if you do not have access to these, we urge you to seek help from your friends and family to make sure you're counted in the effort to improve research. Getting to the patient registry online will be simple, as we will provide a link directly from the FSR website. Simply go to www.stopsarcoidosis.org and you'll see the link on the homepage. When you click this, you'll get to this page, the screen for the FSR patient registry. In the upper left-hand corner here, you'll see navigation tabs for information about the site and about FSR. Also, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see our terms and conditions and privacy policy for participating in the registry. You should review these both. Once you've read them, to register, simply go back up to the middle of the page and click this blue Register Now button in the middle. Okay, so this takes us to your Understanding Your Participation page. It's got some information about the registry that you'll need to read through. Once you've done that, it's kind of long. So once you've done that, you can click Next at the bottom of the page. And this leads you to the registration page. Again, read through all this. It just goes through the details of creating an account and some definitions that may be helpful. It also has the patient or informed consent document. Then there's a few questions that you need to answer in order to continue. Read these through thoroughly, clicking yes to each one if you agree. You do need to complete all of these in order to continue on in the registry. Okay, now it's time to create our account. Pretty simple information here. Just enter your first name, last name, and then it asks if the data is being entered by anyone other than the participant. In my case, it's not, so I'll click no. And then I can skip this next question as well. Relationship to the participant, of course it's self if you're entering it yourself. Then I'll have you enter your email information. And I'll have you enter it again just to make sure you did it right the first time. And then I'll have you create a username. This part can be a little bit tricky because it wants you to make sure that nobody else is already registered with your username. So I'll try myself first. Katie Sims is what I'll put. Okay, so that looks good. Now let's enter a password. This part can be a little bit tricky because there are so many required elements. If you hover over this blue information tab, it details all of the things that you need to create a good password. If your password doesn't have these things, the site won't let you move on, so don't worry about that. So it says here you need to have at least 8 characters, including both upper and lowercase letters, numbers, and a special symbol. So for instance, I'm going to use the word password with a capital P, the number 1, and then an exclamation point. And so then it just has you enter it again to make sure that it's right. I'll click the I agree to terms and conditions button here. And then I'll just have to enter this code here to make sure I'm not spam. And click the register button. All right, it looks like I had a good password, so we should be all set. This takes us to the account details page. This is when we get to start putting in all the details about the participant. So again, my first name, last name, is the participant living? Yes. Gender, birth date, and race. There's also buttons here for unknown, other, and refuse to answer. ethnicity, again, and then city of birth, country of birth, state of birth, your province of birth if you're outside the United States, and then if the patient is deceased, the date of their death. And then here's the section for contact information. So go ahead and put in your mailing address. Your phone number that you wish to be contacted at if anybody ever has any questions. And your cell phone if you'd like to enter that as well. Now this section is the informed consent section. Read through this and it's just detailing all of the things that you need to know about being a participant in the registry. It's, again, so you saw this already on the first page, and you can see that your answers are already clicked off with yes marks. This is just kind of re-going over everything so that you can make sure that it's right. It'll show you your contact information again here, and then it looks like you need to re-enter your password, but that's actually only if you want to change it. So if everything looks right, you can go ahead and hit update. Okay, so now you've created your account using that username and password. Remember, you can come back at any time to update or edit your information simply by logging in. All right, now let's move on to the fun part, answering the actual registry questions.